Previously on Trouble in Mind.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Weird. I just found a bunch of old film canisters or something.
You'll say they're just tapes now, and then suddenly you're projectile vomiting and birthing a demon baby.
I'm gonna need another cigarette.
Ugh, me too.
I have some contacts who might know a thing or two.
Aunt Dotty?
I'm not your aunt. My name is Pandora. I was thinking we could help each other out.
Come on, all the way in.
These are photographs of my Aunt Dotty.
It's not safe for you to have those tapes.
Hanson, who the fuck is this lady?
You're in her house?
I'm in her basement! What happened aboard the Autumn Flyer? It was like mind-melting, but a jar of the really witchy herbal tea goes for 30-something now. Not something I can really afford anymore. I went from being a broke student to just broke in the not-so-fun and cute way.
I grow calendula right over there in the garden. Go ahead, pick some if you'd like. The helichrysum you can substitute with clary sage, and either bergamot or carrot seed essential oil. I take it you're partial to the citrus?
Limes are my favorite fruit.
I knew you were a weird girl from the moment you showed up.
Hey.
Don't worry, me and the weird girls always seem to get along.
Uh-huh, I'm sure.
Stevie!
Hanson! Hey. I'm good. You can cool your jets.
Who is trying to kill you?
That'd be me. Hello.
Hanson, this is Pandora.
Pandora, help I'm locked in Pandora's basement, Pandora?
The very same. The plan changed.
What a relief.
You can call me COLTRICIA, Stevie. My friends do. Come up, Hanson. I'll get you a cup of tea.
She's somehow exactly who I thought I'd find. How you holding up?
I called you 45 minutes ago. That's plenty of time for me to be ahead in a freezer, dude.
You realize giving me a side street I've never heard of and no other landmarks means I'll be a bit delayed, right?
You got lost.
I got a little lost, but I thought you and COLTRICIA were hitting it off.
Can't really tell yet.
Do you want me to take her out when she comes back? I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Sit down. Listen, I think her tapes are for real. It sounds like Aunt Dotty, but I can't know for sure. Not without digging a little deeper. Something doesn't add up.
Thanks.
I apologize for earlier. I'm sure that must have been disconcerting. I assure you, Stevie was never in any danger. At least not from myself. It would be against everything I stand for.
You said that having my aunt's tapes wasn't safe. What did you mean by that?
There's a reason I reached out to you when I did. I'm not sure how much you know about your aunt's ordeal, but let's be clear on one thing. The fact that she believed she was experiencing forces of a dark, supernatural nature that meant to cause her harm. She says as much herself.
What if she just snapped, or had some undiagnosed mental illness?
Maybe, but neither doctors nor priests did her much good in the end.
You say the end, like you know exactly what happened to her. How?
I communicate with the other side, and I believe I've been in contact with the spirit of Dorothy Colleran.
You're saying she's dead?
She passed, yes. I'm sorry. I know it's a little insensitive. You can call me a CONWOMAN or a KOOK, but I don't make money doing this. I don't do it for clout. I don't do it to get off, if that's what you're thinking.
I wasn't.
I was.
Hanson.
You're some of the few people I've ever told. My gift is my deep, dark secret, and I've done a pretty good job at keeping it that way. Until now.
But you can't know for sure that she's gone.
It's possible I'm wrong, and that I've identified the wrong spirit. But she told me about you, Stevie. Real things. She knew that you had found her old tapes. Tapes no one else had ever heard before. And her journal?
I'm gonna need a minute.
Of course. I dreaded having to bring it up.
So, that's it. That's the end of the trail.
Not necessarily. There's still much we don't know. If Dorothy's spirit is not at rest, which I suspect might be the case, then there's something keeping her here, unable to move on.
You think she has unfinished business?
Like most wayward ghosts, yes. I don't know what ultimately happened to her, nor the specifics of what she saw or experienced aboard the train, only that she was never able to come to terms with it. It's my hope that in finding out the truth, it may bring some measure of peace, especially to you and your mom. I believe it's my duty to facilitate your journey. Let me help you, so that I can help Dorothy.
Help me how?
I'm to relinquish all that I have of Dorothy's, her photos, her tapes. You are their rightful owner. Maybe you'll find your own connection to her as I did.
It's getting late. I'll give you a ride back, Stevie. Why don't you go to the car and I'll bring up everything?
Sure, Hanson. Thanks.
You have my phone number, Stevie. Whatever you need, I'll be here for you.
Thank you, COLTRICIA.
You think I'm crazy.
No, wouldn't just think it.
Ouch. Come on, tapes are this way.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You're disappointed.
I mean, it's kind of a bummer, but it makes sense.
I guess so, if you believe she's telling the truth.
What would she get out of lying to a total stranger?
She might not think that's what she's doing, and that's what's scary. Do you believe in ghosts?
Not really. But she knew about Dottie's journal.
Could be Dottie mentioned it on one of her recordings.
COLTRICIA knew about me finding it, specifically.
Sure, but if I'm in her position, why don't I make that leap and just take a guess?
What are we doing? Are we just poking holes in COLTRICIA now? I get it, you don't like her. But we wouldn't have these if she wasn't helping us.
I'm just saying, don't get hurt is all. There are all kinds of people out there, and somehow they all end up in the conspiracy community.
Right. So, who's your guy?
For the folks at home, we left Vancouver a half hour ago, bound for Portland and San Francisco, before we rattle on down the line towards Chicago, the route to the Road of 1,000 Wonders. The Autumn Flyer is a gorgeous, long-distance passenger train with a rather evocative name to boot. It whispers of a time of uncertain change, of red tree leaves adorning well-trodden walking paths, like flickering vestiges, the dying firelight of reckless summer and the approaching hand of winter come to snuff it out. Faced with the inevitability of modern diesel-electric locomotion, the Autumn Flyer seems a woman out of time, an interwar relic barreling into the atomic age. Up front is a curved streamliner, a Bridge Lake Class T1. Hers is a menacing shape, much like a malefic German rocket, or a great yawning shark with her black and gold trim livery to dazzle and thrill young and old alike. Those onlookers that should line the platforms of every station to greet with great enthusiasm the men who are coming home. They are coming home. Even now, it feels like a dream. It was only 3 years ago our brave boys were on hundreds of trains like this one, though headed in the other direction, to the terrible seas, to Midway, to Guadalcanal, to North Africa, to hell and back again. Unfortunately, my suitcase recorder weighs damned as much as I do. If I'm able to get a hold of any man who... You there. Yes, you. Where you headed, soldier?
Thanks for letting me back into the journalism school this weekend.
Of course. They're all on cassette now?
Yeah, took a couple days. This is his house?
No, around the side.
So, what's this guy's deal?
Wade can be a lot.
Helpful. Do's and don'ts?
Just keep him on topic, and don't touch anything.
Ugh, you're always saying that. You don't knock?
He knows we're coming.
You totally hang out here.
In or out.
Are you guys best friends? Rainbow Rising, LA Woman. Hey, metal up your ass.
What did I say? Sit. Hey, Wade?
There he is.
Hey, man. Wade? Stevie?
And there she is.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Get you guys a beer?
Stevie's
love
kinda
one.
busy. We'll make time.
Excellent, dudes.
So, how do you guys know each other?
We go back a ways, me and him. We snuck into Altamont together, the day the 60s died. Pretty bitchin' show otherwise.
We were in first year together at Berkeley.
Hanson had himself a little drum circle on campus. Man, they adored him.
Wow.
You let the beard grow some then. Some of us used to call him Manson behind his back.
And to his face. It wasn't subtle.
They all put flowers in their hair.
We were protesting the war. You joined us.
Yeah. Fuck Henry Kissinger.
Fuck him.
Did Hanson doll you up in flowers too?
Peace and love, man.
Tell me you still have pictures from back then.
Somewhere around here.
I think more than that, Stevie wants to know about some tapes that you have.
Right.
Yes. Hanson told me you're looking into the disappearance of the Autumn Flyer, the overland route back in 45. I'll share everything I got, but you gotta remember, it's all just speculation, because there isn't too much concrete to do much else.
What does it say there on the cassette?
Have a look.
D. Colleran, 1959.
Do you know who that is?
I think I might.
Now we're getting somewhere, finally. Listen to it and tell me what you think.
Getting any sleep at all. None. Couldn't tell you how many hours I've been awake now. I've lost track.
That sounds like my
I
aunt.
close my eyes and beg for sleep to come, but it just doesn't. And I'm left lying there. Eyes closed, mind racing. How long can a person go without sleep before things start to become disturbing? I feel like I've reached that point. This is not my body. It doesn't belong to me. But whose it is, I can't say. I don't live. I inhabit. I can't trust anything I see. Can't trust my own brain. Feels like my mind is actively working against me. Despite my lack of sleep, I still feel as though I'm dreaming. Conscious dreams. Some type of reality-bending phenomenon. The fatigue is changing me. I fear the worst.
The tapes I found at my parents' house were from when she was actually aboard the train, and someone else gave me different tapes a couple of days ago. A woman called Pandora, or COLTRICIA.
Huh. Neither ring a bell, not in any of my circles at least.
Well, she was certain that it was my Aunt Dotty, and those tapes she gave me sound a lot like yours. There's the same hum in the background. It might be the same machine, or even the same room.
Just to be clear, I'm not certain it's your aunt.
What do you mean?
It's just a working theory. These aren't the original tapes, not by a long shot. They're bootlegs. I recorded them from somebody else who copied them from somebody, and so on.
Didn't think Dottie'd be such a hot commodity. If she were still around, she'd be thrilled to hear that.
Anybody who knows anything about the Autumn Flyer would have these tapes in their collection. Having the entire community take part and lend an ear, it's kind of the only way for us to share what we're all looking into. How we rule on what's a hoax and what ain't. You gotta have some ground rules, otherwise you'll go into a death spiral. Lose all grasp and drive yourself crazy. Anyway, the original tapes were found by some urban explorers who broke into an abandoned outbuilding at Riverbend, just down the freeway.
Riverbend. That's the mental hospital.
Sure is. The woman on the recording never says her name, but someone, maybe a doctor at Riverbend, had written D. Colleran and the date on a handful of those tapes. The woman references a train and an incident that might have happened. Most of it is cryptic, bordering on nonsensical. So, not totally out of place for being found where it was.
Did you know your aunt was institutionalized?
My parents never said anything about it.
It would have been just a macabre piece of history on the declining state of mental health care in the Lower Mainland if somebody hadn't put it together that a reporter called Dorothy Colleran was aboard the train that vanished in 45. She'd published some articles from the first few days after leaving Vancouver. Pro-war puff pieces, heroes this, heroes that.
Oh yeah, big time.
You've read them?
Not the actual articles. Her recordings on the train are rosy sounding. Optimistic. At least they start that way. I haven't listened to all of them yet. Her journal? She's like a completely different person. She doesn't hold back. She hated that she was even on the train in the first place.
Why was that?
The men who went off to fight didn't come back the same. Dotty uses the word ugly pretty liberally. I think she meant on the inside, but then again.
Yeah, war'll do that to you.
Crazy thought here, but could Dotty still be at Riverbend?
No.
Maybe.
Wade?
But no, probably not.
It's shuttered. It's been in renovation limbo for a while now. With the provincial budget the way it is, almost no chance it gets back on its feet.
And truth be told, Stevie, a little while back, a few of us looked into D. Colleran at Riverbend, but patient records never turned up anything. She's a ghost, so to speak.
Her file could have been lost in the fire.
Oh, maybe.
Riverbend burned down?
Part of it did.
Well, there could be more clues out there. How do you feel about taking a little field trip, Hanson?
No way.
Well, how do you feel about dropping me off while you wait in the car?
Let me stop you there. It's like the Everest of local spooky places, in the packed with dumbass tourists sense. Point is, the place is pretty picked over. If any additional psych ward Colleran tapes exist, they would have surfaced by now. No need to check out Riverbend unless you're hunting for ghosts, because that's all you're gonna find.
How haunted is it, really?
Aside from a century of the old-fashioned kind of psychiatric treatment, firefighters pulled a couple of bodies out of the wreckage after the fire. Neither were patients or staff.
Oof, freaky. Who were they?
I remember the news report. RCMP said they might have started the fire.
Bored, shitty kids, a Bic lighter, and too many parking lot beers. Been there. Never committed arson, though.
A small town like that, teenagers only have a couple of places to go to hook up. Creepy old asylum or the mall.
I mean, old cemetery works just fine.
Old what?
But only the really old graves. The dead are dust. They won't care. Their souls have moved on. Otherwise, it's just disrespectful.
Really old is how long ago?
50 years?
That's your cutoff.
Well, yeah. Like, at that point, they're in the public domain.
That's really bad, Stevie.
Riverbend getting torched wasn't an accident. Cops found the quote-unquote smoking gun after everything. If you believe them. The guys who they say did it, they meant for the place to not exist anymore. Like, raise Carthage to the ground and salt the earth levels of stuff. And yet...
Still it stands. That's lucky.
Maybe. Maybe not. If you want to take my tapes with you, they're yours. But just a friendly piece of advice, if you dig deeper, it might be the kind of rabbit hole you don't crawl back out of. There's something about these tapes. Every time I listen to them, I just get a bad feeling. Just bad vibrations. Be careful.
I'll try. One last thing. What do you think happened to the Autumn Flyer?
I think she's still out there, waiting to be found.
I'll get the kettle going. Thanks again for the ride, and for introducing me to Wade. You know, that's the second person this weekend who's warned me about looking any further into Dottie's tapes. Hanson, you made it seem like he was just some guy.
Isn't he?
Not from where I was standing. You called him a contact. That wasn't true. You've known each other a long time.
Wade is great. He can be great.
But if you'd called him a friend, I might put more stock into what he had to say.
I didn't know what direction Wade was gonna pull you in. It could have been aliens. Still could be. We don't know.
So now he's vetted. He's not COLTRICIA levels of crazy. Glad we've established that much. So what? You're just humoring me? Is that it?
No, that's not at all what
After hearing whatever the fuck that was on Dottie's tape, the one from the train, do you actually think there's nothing weird going on with my aunt's story? That we're just being taken for a ride? Dottie just went nuts and killed herself. The end.
What I think is that there's an explanation out there for everything. Just one that COLTRICIA and Wade might not lead you to in the end. Doesn't mean it's that cut and dried, just somewhere in the middle. You stumble around in the dark for too long, you'll head towards anything that has shades of being light. I didn't want you straying too far from the path.
Your path. And it wasn't your choice to make, man.
You're right. It wasn't my place. I just thought I was looking out for you.
Why even bring Wade into the picture if you never had any intention of taking him seriously? It's cruel.
Chase down
Don't you fucking chase down all leads me. I want a real answer.
It is a real answer. Wade and COLTRICIA both gave you tapes you didn't have before. Neither of those meetings were useless. If all you learned was that your Aunt Dottie was locked away in a mental hospital before she disappeared, that's not nothing. But take a step back. Be critical. Wade and people like Wade and COLTRICIA, they live in their own worlds. They're not hurting anybody there, but there's nothing else they want more than for somebody, anybody, to come along and say, I live there too. And that's dangerous.
All right, noted. But respectfully, back the hell off, okay? I'm gonna go wherever the story takes me, even if you think it's stupid, even if it's dangerous, and even if...
I'll get the door. There was nobody there.
A housewarming gift? You shouldn't have.
I just found it outside your door.
Hanson, are you bleeding? Your hands.
No, I'm fine.
Ugh, the box. It's dripping all over my counter and the floor.
Maybe your next door neighbors with a nice old baba? Could be BORSCHT. Or not.
Seriously, What's in the box?
You gotta open it.
Why don't you open it?
Because now I'm scared.
Here, do it.
Ah, fuck!
What? What is it?
Please tell me you don't own a cat.
I don't.
That'll make this slightly less upsetting.
Scoot over. Hands off the box, Hanson.
You don't have to look.
Oh, Jesus! It's not a cat. It's a white rabbit. The ears, Hanson.
Wasn't looking at the ears, on account of its head not being where heads are usually supposed to be.
What the fuck is going on?